Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from AnthonysCustoms, and for this review we are looking at the SH Figuarts Star Driver TSUNASHI TAKUTO figure, which is one of the very first SH Figuarts figures. You can even see on the packaging they explain what the SH Figuarts line is all about. And you'll see in the articulation that this guy definitely has some dated engineering, but it's still kind of a cool figure. I have no idea if it's an anime or a manga or whatever, but it's a cool figure with some cool accessories, so I think you guys might be interested in it, and my buddy let me borrow it, so I thought I'd review a really old but modern figure. This is one of the early ones that pioneered the engineering we see in most of the figures today. So let's go ahead and take him off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 5 3/4 inches tall, which makes him just shy of 15 centimeters. So not the tiniest figure in the world, but definitely not the biggest. And I have to point out, the best thing about this figure by far is the paint job. This guy is loaded with really nice detail and some really nice finishes. We have some flat paint and we have a lot of metallic and kind of pearly paint, and it just looks really, really good. You can see all the details here in the chest with the two tones for the star, the gold and the blue going around here. The epaulets are nice and metallic gold. The hair has a really nice flat paint job, or maybe just molded plastic, I'm not positive, but that looks good. And then we have this gold band going all the way down the jacket, which looks really nice. And my favorite part of this guy is the boot area. That's not boots though, I don't know what those are, chaps or shaps, I don't know. But it's really, really dark red with like a light red pearl on top almost. It looks really nice. I love the way that's painted. So very cool looking indeed. Pretty cool sculpt work overall. It's just, this guy just really shows his age in the articulation, and also that his hands are kind of yellow because they're supposed to be white. So let's talk about the accessories. We do have 3 interchangeable faces. We have the neutral face that comes on him. We have one yelling face and one smiling face. So you have some options there. We have a bunch of different hands. We have the 2 fist hands, we have the 2 gripping hands, 2 relaxed hands, 1 signature style pose, and then 2 regular style pose hands. And then we have 3 different swords. We have the one that looks like a rapier in the scabbard. Then we have the 2, I guess, energy swords. Like I said, I don't know anything about this guy, but we have a blue one and a green one that are in very nice translucent plastic. Lastly, we have a unique display stand, which is in a very vibrant, saturated blood red, which looks really, really cool. It's got the star base rather than the normal base. So definitely some nice posing options for this guy. As far as the articulation goes, the head, I can't quite tell. I can't pop it off, and since it's not my figure, I don't want to risk breaking it by just yanking on it since it's so old. But it looks to me like it's got the same ball hinge that most of your Dragon Ball Z figure, actually I think all of the Dragon Ball figures have that. So standard ball hinge for the head. The epaulets up here have a little ball peg in there to let them move around to accommodate for poseability for the shoulder. We have the ball peg in the main torso that lets the arm move around like that. Then we have a hinge for the shoulder, which is fairly standard, except now it's not an actual ball hinge, it's just a really square hinge, which is essentially the same thing, and even the Dragon Ball figures usually have like just a square hinge with a covering over it. So it's, like I said, you can tell this is early, but kind of was the first of its kind to start everything that we have now. We have a bicep swivel down here at this little separation for his, whatever you call it, I guess it's just a layer in his jacket, I don't know. We have a really ugly version of the contemporary hinge for the elbow, but you still get really nice range out of it, so that's pretty good. And then for the wrists, we have a really ugly version of the ball hinge that we see almost on every figure nowadays, but look how far out those hands stick. It's just, you can tell it was a really early figure, but they do work. Sometimes the hands pop off a little bit too easily, and some of them don't want to peg on too easily, and I can't really force it since, like I said, it's old and not mine, but it does technically have the range. For the torso, we don't have a whole lot going on. We have what is kind of like just a ball peg that allows the lower part of the torso to move around underneath that, and these guys here are just soft. They don't have a hinge or anything, they're just connected to the upper torso and kind of soft. So don't expect the best poseability out of this guy. You will find down here that we do have the hinged ball pegs, just like your Dragon Ball figures or most common riders, so you can move them around a little bit to get better range. You cannot bring the legs up very far going forward, but it's probably far enough. Going out to the side, it has no issue at all other than the coat being in the way, but the legs are nice and long, so it really shouldn't be too much of a problem. And then of course you can rotate around on the ball peg. You also have a thigh swivel up underneath that ball peg, and you have a thigh swivel underneath this red piece. So lots of options there. Double jointed knee works just fine. It does look a little bit dated, but it's mostly as we would see it today. It actually looks a lot like the bottom half of the JoJo's figures. The bottom half of that knee, it's very similar to this. And then we have our ankle, which is just a ball hinge. Very standard, which works just fine. You can rotate everything around however you need to. No problem at all there. And then we have a toe hinge. So it's very stiff, but it works. So you can see this guy was, is definitely ahead of his time, I think, for an early figure. They did a really good job. And only in a few instances does he really stand out as being dated. So it's a really cool figure. So if you know what Star Diver, is it Star Diver, Star Driver? Star Driver, if you know what that is, then this might be a figure you want to track down. It's pretty cool, and it's got some cool accessories, and it's going to look nice on a shelf. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, unboxings, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you turn on notifications and come back for that. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and in the meantime, keep collecting.